Right, so before a ball was kicked this Premier League season, I sat down and gave my specific Chelsea predictions. I picked a few categories. You guys also picked a few categories, and I predicted the winner of all of those categories. And if you thought that my general Premier League predictions were bad, there are some absolute howlers in this one. So once again, let's do what I've been doing recently and pretty much just embarrass myself on a video. We're going to start off with Premier League finish, and I am backing Chelsea to finish 4th. The media will relish the opportunity to jump straight on us if we fail to beat Man City or if we have a bad result against Man City today. I do not think that is any massive cause for concern, because my gut instinct would be that it will not take Chelsea anywhere near as long to figure it out this season as it did last season. I do think that under Enzo Maresca and with this squad of players that know each other, we'll win a few more games early on, and therefore I'm backing us to get a Champions League finish. Yep, got the finish right. That's a good start in my eyes. I could have gone with 5th. I knew that the coefficient would go our way this season and that we'd get Champions League football if we finished 5th. But I didn't want to be pessimistic. I put my neck out on the line, predicted us to finish 4th, and that is exactly what we did. I knew we weren't beating City on the opening day of the season. However, if I had have known how this season was going to pan out, I would have been way more optimistic. I knew that the likes of Carragher and Neville would absolutely start ripping into us at the first given opportunity. But also, I'll take a bit of credit here, I predicted the fact that unlike under Mauricio Pochettino, we were going to work things out a lot quicker this season. And we did, because in the next league game, we smashed Wolves at Molineux 6-2. The Europa Conference League. Well, it doesn't take a genius to guess where I'm going with this one. We will win it. Yeah, I knew that Chelsea were going to win the Conference League, and I don't mean any offence here. I know you'll probably take it if you're a West Ham fan, but if West Ham are winning this competition, then Chelsea Football Club, with the European heritage that we have, are definitely going to win this competition. If, and this is a big if Enzo Maresca takes the competition seriously. We saw Spurs tap out of this competition before, and I very much did not want Enzo Maresca to just think, yeah, we don't really care about it. I take great pleasure in singing "We've Won It All," and I'd have shamelessly still sung it, but still, at least now I can sing it and claim to be completely factual on it. Enzo Maresca did a great job, by the way, in terms of man management, in terms of keeping the players happy, keeping attitude up, and most importantly, keeping effort levels up when he was having to rotate players for this competition near enough week in, week out. A lot of managers would have found that a real struggle. Enzo Maresca smashed it. Now, historically, we always do well in the domestic cups, but I do think that as optimistic as I am, it might be a little bit of a stretch for me to say we're going to be winning silverware on multiple fronts this season, as well as qualifying for the Champions League. So when it comes to the League Cup and the FA Cup, I'm going to be slightly more, is it pessimistic, realistic? Maybe I'm just trying to, bring the expectations levels down so I don't look like too much of an idiot. We made the League Cup final last time out. It wouldn't surprise me if we made the League Cup final or the FA Cup final, but I'd very much be happy with 4th spot and the Europa Conference League. So I'll put us as semi-finalists in both the League Cup and the FA Cup. Yeah, this one's a bit of a mixed bag, isn't it, really? Because I can take a little bit of credit in saying that we wouldn't win either cup, but fuck me, we came absolutely nowhere near the semi-finals. I won't run through the scorelines for you, but in a nutshell, we were absolutely pony in both of them. I really hope that next season we put in such a better showing in the domestic cups, because when I was growing up, Wembley, and for a lot of the time Cardiff, when Wembley was being rebuilt, were just basically Stamford Bridge away. And I want to get back to playing games at Wembley, and more importantly, I want to get back to winning silverware. Top goal scorer, and it's an obvious one. For me, it's got to be Cole Palmer. Yeah, no prizes for guessing this one. Some people might have gone a little bit more rogue and maybe said Nicholas Jackson, for example, but I don't think anyone would have really backed against Cole Palmer, and therefore I can't really take any credit for this one. But, I mean, so far I'm doing quite well, aren't I? So, room for optimism. I would back Cole Palmer to convert every single penalty he scores this season. I think it'll still be a while, you know, before we eventually see Cole Palmer miss a penalty. Oh, you fucking idiot. This is what happens with these videos, isn't it? You start off quite well, and then you just start absolutely plummeting with howler after howler, and I don't think this video is going to be that much different. I do think that the goals will be shared around a lot more this season, you know, so if Cole Palmer wasn't to hit the 22 goal mark, I honestly don't think I'd be that disappointed. So the Palm Dog did finish on 15 goals for the season, and I did expect a drop-off on that tally. I thought the maybe 4 or 5 less, probably not 7 less. And then when you factor in that Cole Palmer didn't actually score a goal in any other competition. Domestic Cups, we went out of them early. He did play quite a bit in the Europa Conference League and contributed massively. He was the man of the match in the final with those assists. But if you had said to me that he will get 15 goals as a collective in all competitions, then I don't know. Yeah, I probably would have been a little bit underwhelmed by that. But at the same time, the cream rises to the top. Form is temporary and class is permanent. And therefore, I have absolutely no worries about Cole Palmer next season. Most assists. If you were to put a gun to my head and say who gets the most assists, I'm obviously going to say Cole Palmer. But as I already said at the start of the video, I don't just want to give Cole Palmer as my answer for every single category in this video. Man I'm going to go with that did not register a single assist for us last season, so it might seem a bit crazy to you guys that I'm going with this one, but I am going to put my neck on the line and go with Christopher Nkunku. Oh, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? I remember watching Christopher Nkunku in pre-season, and anyone that remembers pre-season will remember that Christopher Nkunku was lighting it up, mate. He was electric. We were looking at the whole new Enzo Maresca system, and I thought, yeah, Christopher Nkunku is a real important player in that system. He's one that gets the system. It will get the best out of him. And I think on this original video, I mentioned the fact that I thought that he'd be starting week in, week out. And now, what, 8-9 months later, I literally want this fella gone from the football club as quick as possible. And if that doesn't summarise how quickly time moves in football, then I honestly don't know what does. But as much as I'll admit that this was a really bad shout, right? And as bad as Christopher Nkunku has actually been this season, Nkunku has always been a bit of a stat padder. He's always been one that, despite his performances, whether they've been good, bad, or somewhere in between, he's always managed good stats. And you can't deny that, right? When you look at this season, I rate him as having a shit season, by the way. But 19 goal involvements in 22 starts. You can't deny that that's a decent return. You honestly can't. So my real crime here is not realising that Nkunku didn't have the drive, the attitude, the character to want to be at Stamford Bridge. And as much talent as I'm sure he has, as much as I'm sure he'll go on and be good somewhere else, sometimes a certain club just does not fit you. And at the moment, it doesn't look like I'm wrong to say that that is Chelsea and that is Christopher Nkunku at the second. Now, if he had have fitted in, I don't think this would have even been the worst shout. But, yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to defend myself. It's another shitter. Surprise player of the season. Right, so this is going to be a player that there's hardly pandemonium about or real expectation of going into this Premier League season. And for that reason, there are two real options in this category for me. There is Renato Vega and there is Tosin Adarabioyo. I feel like the pathway and the opportunity to break into the first team is going to be easier for Tosin Adarabioyo. Right, I'm actually going to stand by the fact that Renato Vega could have been a surprise player for us. I think that when I saw him 9 out of 10 times, and he probably only made about 10 appearances, he looked good. He looked good. He had one bad game that I remember being in the stands for, but for the most part, he looked good. And what I like from players, especially young players, is he looked bang up for it. I remember him kissing the badge, cheering to the crowd. He came on against Man City on the opening day of the season and looked quite good. But ultimately, despite being an option to play back up to Cucurella, to potentially come in as a centre-back in that back line, he wasn't getting the amount of opportunities that he wanted to after a couple of months, so he jumped ship. Nothing against him, but yeah, didn't come anywhere near being the surprise player. Now, Tosin Adarabioyo isn't actually a bad shout. I think he's been a good player for us. I think he's been an important player. I think he's been a player that has turned up in the moments when we've needed him and not made much of a fuss when we haven't needed him. But maybe it's a bit of big player bias here, but you've got to say Enzo Fernandez has leveled up massively for me. I genuinely thought that there was a chance that when Romeo Lavia was fit and available, Enzo Fernandez would lose his place in the team. And he did for like 1 or 2 matches. I believe a cup game. I believe the game away at Old Trafford against Man United. I think Romeo Lavia started that one.
But just quickly, I want you to be honest with me. You've left it last minute, haven't you, to get your Father's Day present? And just so you remember, Father's Day's on the 15th of June, so it's literally right around the corner. But I'm going to make your life easier. Instead of shopping and thinking of different gifts you can get, just go to Manscaped. Because there, you can pick up the Beard and Balls bundle, which includes the Lawnmower 5.0 and the Beard Hedger that I can vouch your old man will absolutely love. And he'll be joining 12 million other men worldwide who trust Manscaped. And remember, you will get 15% off your order when you use my code JoeyKnight at manscaped.com. So within the Beard and Balls bundle, you have got the Beard Hedger for specific beard trimming and the Lawnmower 5.0 for everything below the belt. The Beard Hedger itself has actually got 20 adjustable settings, meaning your old man will always be looking on point. And the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra includes interchangeable foil and trimmer blades. Basically, that ensures a smooth and comfortable experience even in those sensitive areas. And both of these include skin-safe technology, meaning that you can reduce nicks and irritation and you can groom with confidence where it matters the most. And they've both got great runtime with up to 60 minutes on the Beard Hedger and up to 75 minutes on the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. And both of these devices are waterproof, meaning you can use them in the shower and you can clean them afterwards. So hit the link in the description below so that you can give your dad the best gift he could possibly have from Manscaped this Father's Day. And remember, Joey Knight, all one word, all caps, for 15% off your order. Thanks again to Manscaped. Let's get back into the video.
But ultimately, the class shone through. Enzo Fernandez had his redemption arc this season, if you even want to call it a redemption arc. I'm only saying that that's what it was in my eyes, and he pushed on massively. Right, the next category is most important player, Marc Cucurella. He's scrappy, he's brave, he's bold, and he has now become a man. A man with an air of confidence about him. Marc Cucurella is now so important and integral to this Chelsea side. So I do believe that with his confidence through the roof as it is at the moment, Cucurella is a man that we will miss more than anyone if he comes out of the team. Right, I was obviously wrong about this one, but I wasn't a million miles off, because when you look at most important player, right, there's 3 players in this team that I believe we can't really function without, and I'm going to list them off in the order now. And as much as I love the likes of Enzo Fernandez, Levi Colwill, Reece James, many more, they aren't going to be on this list. It's this order, by the way. It's Cole Palmer, right? Cole Palmer, goals and assists to win you games. He's absolutely phenomenal. But it is, for me, in this order: Cole Palmer, Marc Cucurella, who I earmarked as being our most important. I was wrong, because it's obviously Moises Caicedo. It's obviously Moises Caicedo. If Cole Palmer's not in the team, we might be able to scrape by, you know? We might be able to do that. Enzo Fernandez starting a little bit further forward. Creativity from the wings in Noni Madueke, Pedro Neto, Jadon Sancho, Tyreek George, younger players. We're not as good, but we might be able to get by, right? With Cucurella out of there, we could potentially have Levi Colwell as a makeshift left back. And obviously, invert the right-hand side. We could potentially start Malo Gusto over there. It's not his preferred position, but he's been decent when he's played over there. There's some options. Are we weaker? 100%. But it's not a calamity. I tell you what is a calamity. As much as I love Romeo Lavia and I love Enzo Fernandez, no Caicedo, no party. If Caicedo is not in there, Chelsea are not half. We are not a fraction of the team that we are with Moises Caicedo in there for us. Biggest letdown. Now, originally, as much as it might annoy some of y'all, I was going to put Ben Chilwell in here because I don't think that Ben Chilwell is going to get many minutes in this Enzo Maresca team. I hope that everyone's brilliant for Chelsea this season. But if I had to hedge my bets, I'm going to go with Mykhailo Mudryk because I just have no confidence that this season he's going to push on and do any better than he did last season. I actually think Chilwell's a pretty good shout because he had played a few games in pre-season. We knew that he was going to be behind Marc Cucurella, but the season before, Cucurella had injury issues, and apart from Ben Chilwell, there was no like-for-like backup when it comes to a positional sense for Cucurella. So you would imagine he would have got more minutes, but he wasn't even registered in the Europa Conference League squad. He literally didn't make one single start for Chelsea Football Club this season. I think he got about 45 minutes in a cup competition, maybe. Don't think he really shone in that game. And yeah, by January he had moved to Crystal Palace. We thought that he might kick on there. He literally got 2 starts. Didn't start in their final, but he did a John Terry. He got the full kit on, lifted the trophy. I will not hold that against him, and I won't hold anything against Chile. I think that Chile has been immense for Chelsea Football Club during his time here. So absolutely no shade on the chill dog, but when you've got one of the best left backs in world football playing ahead of you and tearing it up, by the way, you can't be that hard done by to not be getting in this Chelsea team. But I did back Mudryk for the actual category, and for right or for wrong, listen, I didn't know that there was going to be a potential doping scandal in there, but there was. My main feeling was just that Mykhailo Mudryk was not going to push on and be the player that my good friend Josh Aveste feels that I think he still feels he is going to be. So maybe he'll make this category again for me next season, to be honest. I don't really see him being here. So, yeah, kind of got it right. Best redemption arc. I think there's only really, 2 players that we can look at. We can look at Mudryk. We can look at Sanchez. Robert Sanchez may have the best chance because he is probably going to be the starting choice goalkeeper until maybe something goes wrong. Maybe he gets injured and then like the Petrovic style one, someone else comes in and they just prove themselves too good to be able to be dropped. So maybe that could be the one, but I think I'll go Axel Disasi. Oh, my 10th and final prediction is an absolute fucking howler, isn't it? Axel Disasi. Axel Disasi. Has he had a good match for Chelsea this season? Has he? I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. He scored away against Southampton, did he? The flick on from the corner, the header. Back stick, did he? You lot tell me. I think he did. So, yeah. Do you know what? There was a game that I was at, Barrow. This really is saying about the standard. But, yeah, Barrow, he played quite well in that game. He dinked one over the top for Pedro Neto in that game. So, yeah. But after that, he couldn't get a look in for love nor money, could he, Axel Disasi? The 2 games which he did start for Chelsea was the 0-0 against Everton and then the 2-0 against Ipswich. So neither game we won. And I believe he started just out of position in right back in both of those games. So yeah, Villa took a punt on him in January. It didn't start badly. He actually started 4 out of 5 games for Villa and looked quite decent, but then he tapered off massively. And what that means is that Axel Disasi is just going to be another headache for Chelsea Football Club to solve next season, or this summer, I should say. Anyway, there is my reaction to my Chelsea 24-25 predictions before a ball was kicked in the Premier League. Once again, bang average at best. Hopefully, next season's will be better. Realistically, next season's won't be much better, but some people like to see me make an idiot out of myself, and that, my friends, means that you have been in luck in today's video. But the only thing that this is really exposed, because I don't really think that there's any other Chelsea creators that have got more than half of their predictions right or something like that. The only thing it really exposes that none of us can see into the future. And by that logic, none of us know fuck all. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. You're probably noticing there's a bit of a background change here. I'm away at the minute with the family for a few days, and then I will be back to it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. By the way, Nyla Apparel is linked in the description. It is now live. They're doing some banging t-shirts, tracksuits, things like that. Check them out. I will see you all in the next one.